I just thought it was interesting how. Good day, family. Much love to you and yours. There's a storm. It's thundering, but there's no rain yet. It's been doing that for a while. It sounds like a roaring lion. I wanted you guys to hear it. So I'm making this prayer shawl. I have a few of them. I showed you this before. Did I show you the prayer shawls that I make? They're really pretty. Very delicate. It keeps me busy. You know, it's therapeutic. 1 second. Yeah, right? So let me show you. Let me show you my pretty shawls. This is the other one I'm working on right now. Pretty, right? You have to be careful not to get them dirty. There's all these little packages that crinkle, separating everything. I'll show you what one looks like. Not pretty? Yeah, it just feels good, you know what I'm saying? With each stitch, all this energy that when you put your time into making your own things, you know, even your jewelry and your earrings and stuff, my little things. I didn't make this particular piece. I just really enjoyed it. The beadwork and the, you know, the stringing. Hey family, much love to you and yours. I'm just sitting here enjoying the storm that I think is coming. Not sure. But it was just wild, like for about at least a half an hour, you're hearing the rumbling, right? And it sounds like any second now we're gonna get thunder, you know, rain. But you don't see anything. So the sky is just like roaring. And we ain't got nothing yet. Knowing what I know now about the shaman and how you can actually eat a tornado? What? Can you imagine being able to eat a tornado? I can relate to a storm. To be able to steer a tornado, okay? To be able to steer a tornado, consciously, literally take a tornado, an act of nature, and match up to its energy in a way where you're conscious of each other or become each other, so that it subdues the emotion, which is what the tornado is. This is my understanding from the studies that I've been doing, some of it, with Dan Winters. There's a scientific, the scientific part I'm talking about. Yeah, it's a very scientific act. Can you imagine that? Being a real thing that we have on the planet? Because it is. And I know, from tasting a little of it, from my perspective, there's nothing like the real thing, knowing that you're really attached to this sacred energy, to the planetary energy that most of us take for granted, that I once took for granted. It's sort of like your soulmate, or being somewhere and knowing that somebody else has the same idea or gets it. You ever have that feeling when you conceptualize something, somebody's explaining something that is not ordinary, but it's something that you feel from deep inside of you, or you hear somebody say it. Not only is it magical because it's something that you relate to that is not particularly on the norm, right? So you hear it and your insides are like dancing and singing. Whoa, beautiful. It's like, yeah, it's a resonant frequency, right? So it resonates with you and you're like, yeah, I get it. And then to actually be able to see the other person that gets it too is just awesome. And that's kind of what it's like, relating to this, the natural energies, because they're here all the time. The trees are here all the time, the water's here all the time, the air is here all the time, and it's mother. It's like, like the elderly, like wisdom. It's like so many things on the planet are taken for granted, right? They're here all the time. We have access to them all the time. And I can keep myself from them all the time, or choose to move myself out of the way enough to access them all the time. Like, we got to realize that we've been indoctrinated with this other self, right? This demonic self, this dark self, this self that's not even us, it's something else. The little bits and pieces of ourselves that we put on, of the matrix, status, some other kind of interpretation of who you are. But that's not us. We're fire, water, earth, air, and ether. First, before anything. Those are the things that sustain us, right? Can't run away from who we are. And so these things, when I started thinking like that, yeah, this womb space is really easier for me to relate to it that way when you look at how many mothers are taken for granted, right? How much space that nurtures us is taken for granted, where we throw garbage all over the place. I started relating. I started empathizing. And that's what it is. It's that aha, right? That, oh yeah, I get it. And I started to see that if we're just energy inside of this box, right? Inside of this carbon container, that we are a composition of a light code frequency that we're all allotted to via our date of birth. Like, we all have these different personalities and stuff. And even when you look at the zodiac, you know, some of us are water, some of us are fire, some of us are earthy, you know. So we're not just able to relate to the part of ourselves that's depicted by the animal totems, or the animal part of ourselves from the zodiac, but the other parts of ourselves too, you know, the elemental part of ourselves. Aquarius is weird because it's a water sign, but it's actually an air sign. But if you're looking at the fragmentation, right? If air is actually a form of water, then it's just a different kind of condensation, you know, like clouds and water. And then, you know, everything has an aspect of water to it, or it really can't exist. It's just wild, you know what I'm saying? You start looking at it like that. So there's a lot of things that are a different composition doing the very same thing on the planet. Yeah, living, experiencing, nurturing, and being taken for granted and being appreciated, you know? Like, I can't sit here and say nobody appreciates the flowers, because I do, right? And I'm not the only one. You know, that would be egotistical. Ugh. I'm wondering if we're actually, when is it going to come down? You see that? Waiting to release, you know, the releases of energy back onto the planet turned over. And like I understand that now from when I meditate properly, or I dance, and I do Tai Chi, and I feel the energy. It's a wave, you know. There's different degrees of a feeling that comes over you, you know. From being okay and good enough to feeling like spectacular to feeling the kind of euphoria that you know is like a level beyond the normal scale, you know what I'm saying, where you're just like, did you see that wave? Oh my gosh, can you hear it? came from that way, y'all. I heard it from that way first, and I heard it start to wave this way. Watch that. Yeah. I can't hold it. It's just so pretty to me. And now you can smell the soil, the earth reacting to it. How many of us we just ignore that? That's a living environment. And this is in the city. Imagine the way this is in the country somewhere. And all this life, we just walk past it. A lot of us walk past it and don't even realize that it's responding to us. Like, what? It knows we're here. So I'm like, call your mom. Call your mom. Call your daughter. Call yourself. Call your friends, right? Get over that. And I feel the same way. I'm relating to those same feelings and aspects of that when I go into meditation and begin to relate with earth and relate with the environment around me. Moving myself out of the way and moving I go to a certain extent as deep as I allow myself to. It's the work that I do. And there'll be this little bell inside of confirmation for that, you know. Ooh. My wind chime has been through it. From Greek mythology. Thank you. Good day, Brother Curtis. Much love to you and yours. Hey, Thomas. Much love. What's up, dog? Garvey is watching. Chris, much love to you and yours. Hi, Maurice. Good day, Kush. Much love. The weather's been crazy. And we're so emotional. So you're telling me you can change the environment with a wave, with a frequency, like a drum or some music or even an attitude? But the people, we can't affect it? We can't take responsibility for affecting it? Gotta be kidding me. Yeah, so that shaman, he can eat up a whole tornado. I didn't say all of them, you know what I'm saying? There's certain degrees to this. Yeah, but some of them can start a fire through a Faraday cage. There's levels to this. Levels to moving ourselves out of the way in different dimensions to meditations and access that are granted via the planet. Energy is real. Like rain. I was gonna say as white as rain, like that saying, but Wayne, it's not white, it's clear. Yeah, so if you like my prayer shawls, let me know. I will make you one, a pretty color. They're running $40 to $50. And if you want one, contact me in my inbox. Because what I do is be meditating on these things, on you, on changing my life, on getting it right, on keeping it real, I'm keeping connected with the ancestral voices and, who we really are. So if you like that in my stitch, that energy that I put in my stitches, let me know. And I'll make you one. Wow, it's amazing, but in this one little spot where I am, it's not wet. The water is just not. But let me not press it. And go inside. Woo! Oh yeah. And that sounds so pretty, right? Regina in the storm. Regina in the storm. My wind chime has had its time. You can only get one season out of him. That was worth waiting for. Oh yeah. I love the way it just rolls down the street. We used to play in the gutter. That's the curb, the space between the curb and the street, y'all. We don't know about gutters. And splash our little feet in the ground. I'm not going to do it today, though. Even though I'm tempted. I love rainwater. It's just charged, you know? I love being in water, period. I love the feeling of the wind on my skin, the air. I love the combination of the different elements. The earth in my feet, the wind on my skin. Have you noticed how crazy the temperatures have been? Check out those trees, y'all, 5G. If you've seen any other footage in the past, you can see the difference. Yeah, but we're not going to focus on what they're doing right now because life is still happening, right? Ooh, what? That's like when somebody's fighting and they're like, yeah, 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 and you're like, what? You were just shut up, and then there's like a hush, like, all right, I'm done. But no, I'm not done. But I'm kind of calming down now. You hear what I gotta say? Because energy never dies, it only transforms. Some emotion up in here. Emotion. Oh. Wow. Spiritually, there's a whole thing going on. Like when you look at chi and stuff, you look at this rain, like some going one way and then you see other waves of mist going another direction. It looks like a water fight. Like if our ancestors were depicted as, you know, the elements, as well as, you know, there's the pole. You're like looking at it right here. Only we're not really being affected by it, kind of like if you... I'm benefiting from the spiritual aspects of this water fight that I'm witnessing. Can a girl dream a little bit? Well, let me get out of here. This is just, I get really excited in the storm. I can't help it. It's like a full moon or something. Maybe it's because I'm an Aquarius. Like, this is our thing. Like, you know, when the moon comes out, my daughter, she's a Cancer. She gets all, you know, cancerous and stuff. I get around water and I just get weird. I don't know. And you can program water too, so I should just tell it, behave. Stop making me feel so saucy. You go, nah, Gina, we got a message. It's a real message, not the message that you want it to be. It's not packaged all pretty and stuff, like how other people would think that it's packaged. And since it's via, right, a different frequency that people aren't normally on, it's going to sound different. Not everybody's supposed to get it. So like, who you going to be with, them or us, kind of thing. But you still got to live here. And so the shaman, the medicine lady, the spiritual people, they know that. They're like a bridge connecting the different worlds together. You can hear them and you can see them a different way than other people usually can. And you experience life via the elements, because that's what this is. Differently than, you know, most people around you. And being able to move yourself out of the way as a trade-off to access that, and then still keep your balance within the energy, knowing that you're on that bridge. That's the journey. See, I don't want to leave. And there's like nobody here but me. And you watching me. You know what? How mysterious. I often thought how mysterious the birds are. How they just freaking disappear when the storm comes. How much chi energy and how much magic they have with them. What is that biblical scripture? If God even watches over the sparrows, surely he shall watch over his own people, something like that. And I think of the birds. That nest in the backyard, it broke. Her eggs fell. Stuff happens, right? But she's been making eggs. Oh, that's the third batch of babies that she was making in there. She was going for it. And I felt so honored to have a bird, a robin, trusting to be that close to my house and stuff. It was really pretty. But yeah, in the storm, I believe the nest probably fell down from there and life happened. But yeah, birds are like magical. Most of the time, you don't even see. I don't even see that. I don't see the eggs broken and stuff like that. There would be birds' nests all over the ground and stuff. You know what I'm saying? The amount of chi energy or karma that the birds are blessed with, just being on that higher frequency, knowing how to build nests and stuff with old leaves and foliage and stuff, and that they're up there right now chilling. They got new babies and eggs and stuff, and they're just like by the seat of their pants or by the feathers and their wings, you know what I'm saying? Trusting in the creator, and they're just a different composition of a light code frequency. And most of the time they are chilling. That was worth waiting for. It's almost like I want to see the flavor when it finished, what it brought by way of frequency. There's a really cool book called This Present Darkness. I think it's B.C. Andrews. No, is it? No, Frank Peretti. I think it's Frank Peretti. Check that book out. It's really cool. It goes into, my phone is dying too, by the way. It might probably get cut off. It goes into how there's these spirits and stuff, you know, that have dominion or over certain areas and stuff, you know, towns, cities. And there's, you know, in this book, this Christian or the spiritual person is very aware of that, and it goes into it. And so if you know anything about energies, then you can like relate to that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like, for those who can get with this, waiting to see the flavor of this after the storm. It's like intense, like a massage. In the middle of the massage, where it's starting to work out the kink, starting to relax. This is gonna take a while. Yeah, this is gonna take some time, as you can see. Can you see the shift in the wind? The more downward instead of the clashing about that was happening before? This tree didn't bloom. Yeah, the weather's been so crazy. We have days that are like fall, and other days that are like heat waves, right, coming right back after them. And in between there, all this rain wiping out crops, people unable to plant, flooding out the fields. And then you get the heat. You better be happy them birds is multiplying, because them bugs is multiplying too. I've been noticing. But yet they want to cut down the trees. So you cut down the trees, and if there's an infestation of bugs, what are you going to do? Because energy doesn't die, it transforms, you know. Seems like people are being infested with bugs now. But they say people are like trees, right? What's going on? You see that? There's electronics over there. That white thing right there. That. all these wires, then hacking at it. Then they put a outhouse inside of the tree over there, and all that around there from those electronics is starting to act crazy. And that kept chopping down the tree that was right there. And then they hacked at it, brutally hacked at it, like mercilessly, like it wasn't, they had no awareness it was alive at all. Or about plants or anything, they didn't care. It was just like, you know, it's crazy. Look at that sky. Ooh, yeah. The sun. Good day, beloved. I will. Thank you, beloved. Good day, Mr. Ford. Wow. Yeah. There we go. Look what went out. You see the sun trying to break through the clouds there? It's patchy now too. That's weird. Yeah, get him! Get him! That was our ancestors, and they said, you better chill, okay? You ain't running nothing over here anymore. You hear me? That's what he said. And I'm sure that I will repeat it shortly. See? Can you see it with different eyes? Just a little bit now. The corresponding frequencies and stuff of the light code frequency, the energetic potential. This world that's happening around us is not unlike the world that happens inside of us. It's not really that much different. We just look at it different. It's like the insides turned inside out in regards to the world around us. Even if we look at the reflections of ourselves in this mirror, that the people around us have different aspects of us, you know, have different traits. There are different biological composition of the creator as it wanted to express itself. And so who is anybody to try to stop that? That would be like saying that their composition is better and has the right to dictate over the creator what biological frequencies have the right to make up compositions here. That's why they're trying to clone everything and, you know, patent even your DNA and stuff when you send in blood samples and all that kind of stuff. That's some freaky stuff. You telling me you have a hard time owning the right to your own DNA, but they can just like cart it off and do whatever they want with it? You know, once they get it, who knows what's happening? I mean, there's a lot of disclosure movies that use cloning and soldiers and all kinds of weird stuff when it comes to those futuristic movies. And when it comes to disclosure, we already know we're really behind schedule and trying to understand what's been going on. a lot of that technology that we see in these movies are already in effect. Like, we're living in a space where this is like, when it comes to technology, this would be like a low grade jail where nothing works right compared to the technology they're using on us, where they have all the latest, you know, top grade stuff that cost all the money and it's going to work right every time, kind of thing. Yeah, they're showing us. They show us the kind of stuff that they have, right? Tools in the movies and stuff. There's spiritual saying, like, when it comes to consciousness, it goes along the line of energy never dies, it only transforms. Like, so if you can imagine it, then you already put that there in a world, right? You made a world just from imagining it. And so if you can imagine it, then it actually exists. That you can't imagine something that doesn't actually have a composition somewhere. And it kind of reminds me of, like, if you're looking for a corresponding frequency, you can't actually obtain it unless you felt it. You really got to work at the sincerity, the genuineness of that frequency. Especially when it comes to these energies and stuff. There was a lot of fakes, you know, a lot of fakes and stuff, but when it comes to this energy, you cannot fool it. It's only going to come to the frequency that can actually work with that energy. And if it needs a true frequency or sincerity, or I don't like to use the word humility, as much as I want to use the word empathizing. Like, I think that to empathize, to be willing to empathize with any level of life form, is humility. To be able to level up to something instead of tower over or buckle under. You know what I'm saying? To be just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just here. If you don't like that, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. But I'm here, and I'm a part of the nurturing and the betterment of the planet. Why? Because I have a story of the time when I wasn't a part of the nurturement and the betterment of the planet. Like, I took my journey and willing to tell my story, and I've gotten valuable proceeds from my journey. I chose to turn that energy inside out, like the shaman. I had my own storms and stuff, my own tornadoes. I'm still eating stuff, you know what I'm saying? We are the snake that eats itself. That's media sign. We are the wounded healers. That's what this environment does every day. Everything that was in the air. This was like, let me see, the after effect. The flavor is like, we were in it, and it was good. It was good. It was real good. But it could have been better. Could have been better. We could have worked on it. We could have. I know that there's something else there to be released. You know what I'm saying? But it has potential, right? This storm was sexy. It was awesome. It had potential. We understand each other better. But we got some work to do. That's the energy that, you know what I'm saying? We're getting there, though, as far as this relationship is going. Right? So are we going to really relate to each other and do this or not? Like, I'm here. I just change some stuff. What? Your mind's like, you know, I just made that fabulous meal. Are you going to appreciate it or what? Do you realize I changed your diapers or what? I'm just an ordinary woman, but I did magic, because nobody else would really want to do that for you unless they were able to empathize, right? To make that emotional connection, to be willing to level up. Mama wasn't towering over you, and she wasn't beneath you. She was you, right? The nurturement of the elements, right? the female aspect, the Shekinah. That was a wave. That was the wave that, like, she took us for a ride. Still, see, I told you she had more left. What? You hear that? Speaking to us. The Shekinah. The elements, the wave, their frequency, their vibration. And they happen inside of us. I told you. Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. It was good, right? It was good, right? But we could do better. Oh, yeah. We can get really, really crazy with it and, like, go to cloud 9, right? And be like, that was just bananas! That's the kind of experience that I'm learning to have with the elements and the world around me when I really plug in and move myself out of the way. This was Regina's Rabbit Hole. Much love to you and yours. Please join me on the YouTube. I'm having problems with technology. They upgraded. Hopefully I'll get to do a little podcast on my experiences with their upgrades. You're not going crazy. They upgraded the system with your tech problems, in regards to your tech problems. Yeah, there they go. It's over. Little birdie is out. Okay. You still hear it? You hear it rolling out? Still a little growling. I don't know, will she give us a rainbow, or are we going to get more rain, or what? Because, you know, at this pace, we might even get a rainbow. What? Do you see the setup there? Some sunshine. Still raining a little bit. With the right connection, we might even see a little, if I see a midget, it's on. It's on. I love rainbows and short people. Did you know that about me? Yeah, that part is just your laughter facilitator part, but it's actually a true fact. I really love rainbows and really short people. I think they're so cute. And I like to make jokes to see if they have a good sense of humor. I like to pick on little short people. Oh yeah, I say things to them like, short people have no reason to reach for anything because you know you can't. You know what I'm saying? Just ask somebody tall to, like, pet out. Yeah. Innocent little jokes, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or anything. Yeah, and you can pat them on the head really easy, because if they're short, you could just be like, oh, okay. And, an update. I'm getting over my fear of the dentist. And I got this really crazy dentist. And so I really got to work for it. Yeah, I know, right? They're making me some teeth, y'all. I caved in and I decided to get prettier for you. Yeah, I know. I should just stay kind of grungy and stuff like I am. Down to earth kind of girl and everything. But I decided that if we're going to do this image thing and spend time with each other like this, that I can make my smile just a little bit prettier for you. What do you think? Prettier for me? Just a little bit. And so I'm allowing this crazy doctor to plug all the cords within every fear that I have of dentists, because, like, first time I saw him, he yanked my freaking tooth out. Then I went back and they made molds for something that wasn't even supposed to be done. We had already did that. Yeah, making mistakes and stuff. Like, my fears are coming into reality and stuff. And like pushing through it just to get my smile straight. This is insane. You know? I should just tell y'all, you know what? It is what it is. That's what I've been telling you. I know, right? Yeah, but I'm gonna do that. One reason is because, all right, this is a scientific reason. Now you have the left and right hemispheres. And actually missing those teeth does do something, okay? Scientifically, physically, it does do something. You know, within setting an off balance, okay? So I have those teeth missing over there. I've been chewing on this side, and that caused problems on this side. So, you know, even when you're chewing on one side of your mouth, you ever like, you know somebody that's doing weightlifting on one side of their body, and they got a big muscle here and a little muscle there, it causes off balanceness, you know. Yeah, anyway, without going into, you know, there's pressure points, all right? Think of acupuncture, think of reflexology. There's pressure points, okay? And that does affect you, you know, the bite down, the tapping, and the movement on one side of the face versus the other. You know what I'm saying? That's like kind of like there's effects of that versus being right-handed or left-handed. You know what I'm saying? So really, I wanted to kind of like see if I will improve any on my left side if I replace those teeth over there and began to have because I had facial paralysis on this side of my face at one time of my life. And you can still see the results of that. My face is actually crooked. And it's an Aquarius trait, but it's also a trait I got from this weird thing that happened to me. But, you know, as a targeted individual, we know that they use those weapons and stuff. And a lot of things that happened to me physically during that time, I didn't know, you know, that stuff was possible or capable. I just had all these crazy elements and I didn't know why. You know what I'm saying? But that was one of the things that happened. Anywho, yeah, she's done. And I'm done. And like I said, you know where to find me at. Regina's Rabbit Hole on YouTube. Much love to you and yours. We'll talk about the tech problems when I can fix my tech. I'm returning this device tonight or tomorrow morning. And, wow, that's pretty. It's, well, let me know what you feel from the storm. If you could feel anything from the storm, any kind of feeling or sensation, any kind of theme or anything that you want to share with me, that would be lovely. I would love that. There's another birdie. Yeah, we're done. It feels lighter. Definitely lighter, but I would want to ring out some more. You know what I'm saying? It's like that workout where you know you got some work to do, and ooh, the birdies are just going crazy now. They know it's over. You know, that you could just, you know you got some work to do and get into a little bit more. That's actually where I felt like I am during my meditations. It's like the dis-ease is so deep in there, you know what I'm saying? All the discord that you really, you know what I'm saying, you got to work for it to find that balance, to maintain that balance. You really got to want to spend time with these energies to know myself in order to be able to discharge the wave of something else that's there that I don't want. So I have to be able to identify it, right? You can't match a frequency that you don't know. So part of that is honesty and saying, oh, I do know. That's what I'm feeling like. Oh, that is what that is. So I do know. And then once I do know, I can take responsibility for it and I can actually choose to change what it is that I'm doing and the way that I'm looking at it. All right. This is Regina's Rabbit Hole. I'm out.